Bring us your baffling.
Bring us your audacious.
We want your sticky notes, sketchbooks, and scribbles. Let's pin them to the wall, kick them around.
Kick them around, see what happens.
Because we're in the how do I get this startup off the ground business.
The taking your business, global business.
We're in the problem-solving business. 400,000 people.
Ready to help you solve problems while they're still called opportunities.
From figuring it out to getting it done.
We're here to help.
After a tough opening two-game series that our kids have played hard against two pretty tough opponents and two Power 5 conference teams, and we came in on the bottom end of both those games, and now we got to put those behind us and go forward. As you do in this conference quite often, you've got to put some of those games behind you and go forward and recognize the goals that you got and move to the next game, get better, and go from there. And that's kind of what all of us are going to do in this conference. There's about 2 or 3 teams that are still undefeated in this conference, in this non-conference schedule, and we've got to grow. Take this week, get ready for Savannah State, play the best football we can play, and move forward. You play teams like Oklahoma, Pittsburgh, and you come out on the bottom end and you get you down. You can't let that happen. You got to get forward because everything's still out there for us, and we've got to move forward with that. Our players need a win. They've worked hard. They've worked hard through the off season. They've got all their goals set out there, and aspirations. We've got seniors that have committed themselves and have been here a long time. And we played 2 teams, and we had a tough row. And we didn't. And whether you can come out and beat Oklahoma or beat Pitt a second time in a row, can or can't happen. Now you've got to come from. You've got to respond. The biggest thing I'd say was I can't imagine our men are hungry to win. They're hungry. They're hungry to get a win. They're hungry to go out there and play their best to move forward. And we can't. And Savannah State is the next game on our schedule. And so I would hope our players understand that you have to go out and play a football game. That Savannah State will come in here the exact same way we went to Oklahoma. And with about 5 minutes and 32 seconds left in that game, the first half, it's 3-0 at Oklahoma. We have to assume they can come in the same way. I think Oklahoma hasn't lost an opener against a non-conference in 99 games. It was unbelievable, maybe since 1999 or something. But we went in there with the same thing. So we have to assume, and I've told our players, we have to assume Savannah State will come in here with the same thing. And we haven't been impressive offensively. They got to come in and feel like that we know we've got to go out there and play good football. Well, he had a head injury. We just don't want it to discuss. As everybody knows, it's a very, very everybody. We don't know how severe those are, but it's a head injury, and we have to be very, very cautious in today's game. We're very cautious of head injuries to make sure that at least for a week we reevaluate after a game. That means you've got to get 2 guys getting reps. Woodson's getting a lot of reps. And there's a lot of things when you deal with Woodson. There's a lot of things. He's had a lot more at bats and things we do than Trevon Chapman, but it gives us at least 2 guys that probably are more similar in the way they do things. Well, Willie hadn't had a chance to show a maturity that he has. The last year, being a redshirt freshman starter, there were times when we were in games at halftime and we made the first mistake. We made the first turnover. We made the first mistake offensively. And that's what you're hoping you'll see from him is some maturity in that standpoint, that he understands sometimes it's okay not to force something or try to make something happen. Biggest thing, though, from a standpoint, he was up over 250 pounds, and he's 228. He was down to 228. Which is a good 30 pounds, almost 30 pounds different. That was one of the biggest things. I don't think he could play play as well as he can play that heavy, and I think he still needs to get below 225. So we're still, it's a work in progress. But he's got himself committed to stepping up and being ready. Trevon Chapman's number 1, but Tommy Woodson would say, Coach, I think I'm the best. When the time comes, give me a shot because I think I'm the best guy we got. So he has a lot of confidence. Well, the big picture is where what we could. You know what? That's kind of like where we are in our season right now. if we sit there and say, oh my goodness, everything is gone to pot, everything's gone because we've lost to 2 Power 5 conference teams or 2 bowl teams, and I don't think Pitt was as good as Oklahoma, but you really don't catch them off guard at all. That being said, so that's the big picture I was talking about. Let's keep those games in perspective. But again, we've made some decisions offensively. We need to start reaping some of that. We need to start getting better at what we're trying to do and moving forward with that, because I think I sit there and I think of decisions I've made that are right or wrong. You get the first game and you're playing a real talented team, and all of a sudden the second game you got your guy and all of a sudden it's pouring down the rain. And you're saying, okay, what do I want to do out here to add to the confidence of my new starter in a pouring down rain against Pitt, who's got a fairly good new head coach whose focus is on defense, the Michigan State coach that came in. And but we've got to start continuing to move that offense forward, because it just we haven't been able to do what we've got to continue to progress. I don't think so. I think we would like to run and throw the football. No, I think I'm putting more pressure on the offense, and we're not there yet. In other words, when Pitt came back and scored half, we could have run first downs. They wouldn't have got the ball back. If we could have done a little bit more, they wouldn't have got the ball back, and we wouldn't be saying defense, you didn't stop them that last drive. To me, the defense is responding. They've got to. I want I think I want the defense to be as good as they can be. I think that when you talk about the strength of our team, I still think the front 7 is the strength of our team, I think right now the challenge, I wouldn't say I'll put the pressure on, but the challenge I want is for our offense to start doing a better job of doing what we want to get done. We got 3 really good linebackers. It's pretty. They played too much. Our second teamers haven't played because the 2 games that we played, our second teamers haven't got. One guy's gotten 10 or 15 snaps, and nobody else has ever gotten a game. But our first 3 are very, very good, and I think that's probably why Coach Amata hasn't been able to take them out much. They are very good. The first game, Dylan Evan gets 17 or so tackles, and then the second game, Jatavis Brown gets 16 tackles. Middle linebacker's usually not going to get quite as much as the other 2, because he tends to come out quicker in third down situations for a nickel or dime package. But I'd say the linebacker play has been, it's been pretty crisp, and we just got to make sure we've got some depth there. Sometimes a safety in a lot of defenses today, one of your safeties steps down and is really an outside linebacker. So in a lot of defenses, you'll find a safety being the leading tackler because he doesn't come out on nickel or dime packages. He gets to stay in and have more opportunity. But to me, if you'd like your 3 linebackers to be right there in the hunt. At least 2 out of the 3 ought to be your key. The biggest thing, we didn't get a fumble recovery because I think it was a tough day for both. Offensively, it was it was a nasty day from before the game till after the game, and it was a defensive, and like I say, until second half we let some plays get. Like I say, the defense had played very well, but when we get to a game like that, a rain game, and we're trying to get a young quarterback through a rain game too. We've got to continue to assert ourselves defensively throughout the game, even if it's got to be a 3-0 game or a 10-7 game or whatever it is. It's got to be. We have to be able to step up and accept that responsibility. But they had some good numbers. Like I say, they were 18 of 25 passing the football. They were 46% on third downs. And in a day like that, you want to be able to stand up for. It's hard for me to be critical. I'm saying those are areas that we still can get better. We still can get better. That was as big a helmet to helmet as I've ever seen. I don't know how they missed that one because it was a very, very, very dangerous blow. But I don't believe and not intentional. Right. But that's not the case anymore. That's not the case anymore when we talk about these things. I watch TV and see a playing. But anyway, that one I'm sure it'll be looked at. It was a very quick deal that happened on a scramble. I think the play again. I get that the almost point was we coaches too. We have to keep ourselves up because we put a lot of time in this thing, and the players. I think the players. I think the morale starts at the top. And I think we have to, when you get up in the morning, you have to say, okay, what is my objective today? Is get these kids to focus on, let's go get this game won, go get this game and play our best football against this team, play our best football, play as hard as we can, and get ourselves moving in that direction. This, as you see from throughout our conference, how you respond to the first 4 games is probably more important than your record from the first 4 games, because there's going to be, we upset Pitt last year. We got games this year. Everybody has to respond in some way to their first 4 games. Almost everybody plays a Power 5 team or 2 Power 5 teams, or teams that the odds are stacked in their favor, most likely on the road, and you got to respond to it. So. But I think morale starts at the top, and you walk into that office, and you don't say, golly, I need a win, I need a win and a win. You got to come and say, man, you play your hearts out, just keep playing, good things will happen. It's a 12-game season, and let's make sure we nothing solves problems like winning, and that's why you go out and get a W, and nothing makes things go away like winning, and that's why we want to make sure we come out here and be ready to play and take nothing for granted against Savannah State, because they're Savannah State. Just like Oklahoma we didn't want to take us for granted because we're not Oklahoma. They better be ready to play. I think it's a history of experience gives you the best ability to cope with and I'll give you a couple examples of starting off with a tough game and a tough loss, and not letting that be the defining moment of your season. Not letting that to allow it to be mentally a defining moment, and know that it's just a snapshot of that point in time. Samford University, although we were 1AA in '91, we opened up with Auburn. Lost. My brother Tommy was on Auburn's staff, and they had gone 5-6 the year before. And darn it, they don't even pay attention to their 1AA, but they beat us 55-7 like a drum. Then we ran the table 12 straight games, 12 straight games, and had the most wins I've had in a season, 12-2, and lost to Jim Tressel in the national semifinals that year. But you got to be careful not to just to say, okay, who we play, what did we do? We didn't really get upset by anybody. You wish we could have made a better showing against Pittsburgh. I think offensively, I think we're not hiding that fact. The rains tended to affect us more than it affected them, and we've got to challenge that way. But I think it's the history of the longer you're in this business, the more you've seen some of your best years. Almost all your best years came after how you responded. I've only had one undefeated season all the way through, regular season. I've had some one-loss seasons, but only one undefeated. So almost all those years came how you responded from a loss. Savannah State just coming here and playing. They come in here and playing lights out. Savannah State is a team that will have talented people, not as many as us, but make plays, create big plays. Us not taking care of business, just like I preach. Don't turn the ball over. Don't give up big play. You got a chance to beat Oklahoma. Well, they come to us. Don't turn the ball over. Don't give up a big play. So we turn the ball over. We give up big plays. It changes. So what you do is you need to come out here and be very serious about any time you play a game like this. Be very serious about playing your best football, and play it from the first snap. I believe that's that's our strength. We just got to make sure there are some teams that are going to say, we're not going to try to run it all. We're not going to give you the luxury of being good at what you like to do, and we have to continue to prepare for that, because the old days of we're going to stop the run and you can throw it all you want to between 20s, but you're not going to score. Well, that's not, these people that throw between 20s also throw in the red zone, right. And so when you have that philosophy, you got to keep them out of the end zone. When you say, okay, we're going to stop the run, and if they want to throw some passing yards in between the 20s, it's fine, but those passing plays cannot lead to points, and that's where we've got to again be emphasis on that. But like I say, it's a long season both ways. Defensively, we've had some things we like, some things we've got to recognize, we've got to continue to work on as well. I think about us going up into Michigan and playing like that, and we haven't been at the top of the league. Toledo has been at the top of our league for a little while. I just think it's a credit. I mean, I don't like to kudos to other people in our conference, but kudos to Bowling Green and Toledo, as we all have to pat each other on the back. In Eastern Michigan, I don't know much about Wyoming, but we know about Arkansas, and playing Arkansas at Arkansas. Usually you get one shot to go in under the radar, and you need to take advantage of it. You don't get two shots to be under the radar, but you get one shot, and you need to take advantage of it. And I think Toledo did a great job. I didn't see any of the game, but to me, it's a big win.